downstairs. The Raiders in a moment, but the Broncos come in here. They'd love a win against their rivals, and if they're going to get it, it's going to be with a quarterback the Raiders used to know.
Know him very well, Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham stayed here with the Raiders and moved on to Denver just this season. And one of the things that he does is he understands the Raiders' strengths and weaknesses. He practiced against them a whole bunch of times. This is kind of interesting. This is his 5th year. This is only his 4th start. But he understands a knowledge of the National Football League. And if you compare that to what's going on with the young kid over at the Raiders, there's a big difference.
That is Aiden O'Connell you're talking about, making his 10th start.
10th start, and you're looking at him, and so what is he doing? He's still in the learning process. He's learning the National Football League. He's learning all the reads. He's learning a lot of things. He's come a long way. He's better than he was at the start of the season. But here's the key. Whichever quarterback plays the best today will get this win.
We mentioned Antonio Pierce. There is an aura around this team right now, in part because of him, Megan.
You know, this squad has so much support for their head coach. In fact, Davante Adams said, we don't necessarily know if they win today will secure that permanent role for AP, but it certainly can't hurt to end on a high note here. You know, when we went to team practice with the Raiders on Friday, there was a palpable energy with the squad and a real theme of positivity in all of the conversations that we had with coaches and players alike. So you can expect a lot of energy. They said the emphasis today is to get back to the love of football because they are at their best when they're having fun, guys.
You kind of sensed it around the facility, didn't you? I mean, Matt, you've been around here. There is a vibe.
Yeah, there is. And look, you want to have a lot of fun, win. That's what makes things fun. So I think they can start off on the right foot here. We'll have ourselves a good football game. These are two very evenly matched football teams. Just like we saw at the start of the season, it was a one-point game. I'm expecting the same thing.
That was 17-16, a long, long time ago in week 1. Daniel Carlson to boot it away, and off we go once again. It is the Raiders and the Broncos. Marvin Mims Jr., the Pro Bowler, on the return. He's back from a hamstring injury, and he's across the 30-yard line. So Jarrett Stidham, as we talked about, facing his former team. Last week against the Chargers was pretty good. Last year, in place of Derek Carr at the end of the season, was what drew Sean Payton's attention.
So what he has is an inside knowledge of the teams that he's playing against. He understands their defense. He understands the personnel. And so he'll understand a little bit about how to navigate it, maybe more than a normal four-game starter would have.
He very much understands the guy that we showed you off the top, Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers and defensive players in the NFL. It's an opening throw for Stidham, who climbs the pocket and swings it short of Javonte Williams. Second down coming up. And this Denver offense, this is a shock to Broncos fans that there's another offensive line combination they can have. Cam Fleming in for Mike McGlinchey, who is out for the first time all year with a rib injury, and then Cortland Sutton is back. He hasn't played since Christmas Eve. He hasn't had a catch since the week before. He's a big target in the red zone.
Big target, and they got to get the ball to him. And this is a really talented wide receiver core that the Broncos have.
Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton for Stidham, who is in for Russell Wilson, and we'll get into that over the course of this telecast. Jaleel McLaughlin, who's been very impressive this year, his rookie season. He is stood up by Divine Diablo, and it's a loss on second down. This Raiders defense, led by Max Crosby, who, Matt, he's just relentless.
Oh, no, they don't make many like Max Crosby. This guy is non-stop. I've never seen a guy who has this much energy all the way through a game. He'll play number 80 like he did play number 3.
Which helps out this secondary that has been pretty sturdy. 10th in passing defense. There is that man, Max Crosby, who would love to get a couple of tackles to get over 90. Stidham on 3rd and long. Near side incomplete for Sutton, and the coverage for Amik Robertson. So the Raiders once again force a 3-and-out on the opponent's opening possession.
Yeah, and this is a potential completion right here. I think Sutton has an opportunity to make this catch. It goes off of his shoulder pad. He should never let it get into his pads. That's a ball that should have. It was a catchable ball, and it was a nice throw to the sticks.
Matt, that's the 11th 3 and out on an opening drive this year for the Raiders defense.
Yeah, they've done well limiting first drives, obviously.
Riley Dixon, a new father, with the punt, and Carter will wave it off.
Smart by Carter. Wasn't quite sure of it. Back off of it. Move on.
So you talked about Aiden O'Connell. You've gotten to know him. He's out of the northern suburbs of Chicago, and it seems like he's starting to get his feet under him here in the NFL.
Well, there's a lot to learn. I think if you ask anybody what kind of job has Aiden O'Connell done this year, you'd say he outdid his draft status. You'd say that he's come a long way. He's not the same player now that he was 10 weeks ago, but he's still learning, and he's still in that learning process.
You see his eyes there scanning, and you see Zamir White behind him, in for Josh Jacobs again. Off play action, O'Connell is sacked. Opening play sack for Baron Browning.
And they brought a blitz, so they brought an extra guy. Browning's able to get there. Singleton came on it as well. And so what you're going to get now, he's got to get rid of this ball quick, and he understands it. This is the right way to be able to start for this Denver defense. You want to be able to get him thinking he's not going to have time in the pocket.
And you can sense that as a defensive player that he feels that.
Absolutely. Well, he's just a young guy. He'll figure it out.
Loss of 6. 2nd and 16. Quick throw, nearly picked off. Pat Surtain jumped that and had goal line eyes.
I think right there you're looking at two of the best in the game. And this is a matchup that they've had. The first game was a great game. He limited him to 2 catches. Surtain right there. That should have been a pick 6, and he knows it. He's as good as there is in the league right now. That kid right there, he's playing at such a high level, and nothing bothers him. He's traveling with Davante Adams. That's a great matchup.
All day long, we will watch that. Former 9th overall pick in the draft, Pat Surtain. Here is another target for Adams, and he's stopped by Surtain. So these defenses, which both are very good early in games, have done what we expected.
Yeah, and I think he was going to probably, if he had time, he could have taken a shot in that first one. He got sacked, obviously. Then he came back 2 throws to Davante Adams. In the first game they played, it was Davante Adams and Myers. Those 2 guys dominated it, right? And so you're really going to kind of look at that same thing.
Jacoby Myers 2 touchdowns in that first game. Here is one of the best punters in all the land, A.J. Cole, 2nd in net punting in the NFL, right. And that is a blast. Just a rocket shot through the skyline here in Las Vegas.
Talk about changing field position. That was one kick.
He had an 83-yarder earlier this year, and he is next quarterback people have thought of at the high school level, etc. But he has learned some from Russell Wilson.
Oh, he's learned from everything. He's one of those guys. He's got skills. He's got good legs. He can throw the football. He sees the field. Right now, what he's seeing is his offensive line taking it to the Raider defensive line.
They never tackled Javonte Williams.
No, they didn't.
And I know you don't like that as a defensive player.
Yeah, I think that's the way this league is going. I think guys go for the ball a lot of times instead of finishing the tackle. First man in, tackle. Second man in, go for the ball. We have everybody going for the ball.
In the booth or on the field?
Both.
Okay. I'll be careful. 2nd and 3 for Jarrett Stidham, the Texas native. Max Crosby down at the bottom of the formation. Here is Williams on a 2nd down run. He stood up by Jenkins, but he still drags some people forward.
Yeah, he's a powerful guy. I mean, from the legs down, waist down, he's pretty thick. He's got some good weight to him, and he's not afraid of contact. I love this guy. He's going to, look, you want to get in his way, just go run right at him. And he's going to take it right on. He's just going to keep on churning his legs. Big, thick guy. One of the guys he likes to run behind is number 77, Miners. One of my favorite players in the league.
He's been one of the best guards in the league all year.
I think he is the best guard in the league.
Really?
Ready.
Mims in motion. Stidham play action. He flares it out for Williams, who puts his head down, and Isaiah Polamalu, the safety, with the stop. Second down coming up. This Denver team doesn't pass a whole lot. They're 8th in rush percentages. Here we'll see how much they uncorked Stidham today.
Yeah, and then, you know, they're still going to have to run the football. But and one of the reasons they're going to be able to do that is because that guy right there, Miners, number 77. And Miners is one of those guys, you know, he's 6'3", and he's about 340. They call him the gut.
Why's that, Matt?
He embraces it very well. I had a chance to talk to him before the game. Let me just say this right now. That guy would be on the All-Madden team. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Second down for Stidham. Clean pocket. It's tipped and incomplete. Cortland Sutton got his mitts on it, and Jack Jones was hoping that maybe the redirect would come to him.
Yeah, nice job by Max Crosby. Got a little bit of pressure there at the end. Get some stuff on him, and he's going to set up this third. This is the position they didn't want to be in, is behind the sticks. Behind the sticks here is the 3rd and long. Keep our eyes on Max Crosby up top.
We got stonewalled that time. Stidham rushed it a little bit for a Humphrey, and another punt coming for the Broncos.
Nice job by the Raider defense in terms of coverage. They were staying back enough. They were going to make him throw back underneath. They tried to Humphrey underneath, and obviously an incompletion, but well defended.
There is the endless effort of one Max Crosby, and now DeAndre Carter back to receive. It was a 66-yard punt for A.J. Cole. Dixon trying to earn some of that back, and we'll see what Carter can do, giving some ground. And he is stopped just a couple of yards. The Peyton drawing on the Lions from last year, who started 1-6 and turned it into 9-8. And Antonio Pierce just wants these guys to invest deeply one more time this year.
Yeah, and I think both attitudes and both ways they're approaching it is good. And I think Sean understands with Dan Campbell what he did up there. Like, you know, just keep it rolling. Roll up from one year right into the next.
And that's exactly what the Lions have done this year. Winning the North. Zamir White with the carry, and this Raiders offensive line, which is back at full strength today. Colton Miller had been out a couple of weeks with a shoulder issue. He's back at left tackle. Parham the left guard, and then Andre James is the center. Mentioned Zamir White in for Josh Jacobs, who's tried for a couple weeks to give it a go and has not been able to. They're without Michael Mayer, the outstanding tight end out of Notre Dame, as well, with a toe.
Yeah, just and I think they lose a lot not having Mayer, and I think Mayer is a legitimate blocker. You don't find that very often in the National Football League, but getting Colton Miller back, number 74 left tackle, big deal.
Toss it the other way. Zamir White with running room and a first down across the 35. It took the Pro Bowler Justin Simmons to drag him down.
I think a lot of people are excited to see Zamir White. They've gotten bursts and pictures of him, but they want to see him in a full game all the way, and I like what he has. I like the fact that he can burst. He catches the ball well out of the backfield, got good vision, follows his stuff very well. I think he's got a shot.
Amir Abdullah called him humble, stoic, and responsible, which you don't hear all the time about a second.
Well, you know, Amir's an actor as well, so he learned all this.
He's a method actor.
Exactly.
Aiden O'Connell with the check down. There is Zamir White, and he cuts it back for 9. That's Josie Jewell, the impending free agent, with a stop. This Denver defense on the defensive line, a sturdy group. And there is the defensive backfield first. Patrick Surtain, Justin Simmons, they really are the headliners here. The two Pro Bowlers will go to the linebacking spot. And mention Josie Jewell. He and Singleton have gotten to be very good friends at the linebacker spot.
That's a good linebacking core right there. They're young, they're talented.
The secondary is really good, Matt. You know how good they are?
Really good.
We showed them twice.
Exactly.
That is how good they are. Second down and 1. No need for a push when you just drive the legs yourself.
Sometimes that works. Most of the time, not so much.
I think defensive linemen, you could speak to this, take it as a personal affront when that happens.
Well, especially a quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback. But having said that, let's talk about rookie Aiden O'Connell. I think what he's been able to do this year, he's better than the 4th round. We know that already, right? What you really love about him is his approach to the game. He was taught well when he was at Purdue, and he's taken that into this league. He's always learning all the time. He's always looking at something to learn. I think he's got it.
Movement at the line. Our first chance to talk to Sean Hockley, our referee today. It was Mike Purcell who crossed into the neutral zone.
That Purcell, number 98. Now that guy, he's stout. He don't move he doesn't get moved very easily.
He moved himself that time. Aiden O'Connell was talking to us about just the installation process of the offense, and an OTA is learning like 15 new red zone plays in an hour, and just the load of information new quarterbacks have to deal with.
Yeah, what was interesting to me was talking to Stidham and then talking to Aiden O'Connell, and you can see that Stidham knows it and Aiden's learning it. There's a big difference.
After the play, I want to ask you about that. Zamir White with a head of steam. He's got a first down as he's wrapped up by Jewell. So what was it about the way they talked to us that you could tell that?
Just a confidence, just understanding. And so you see, you talk to Stidham and he's talking about it like this is the way it's going to be. This is how they run it. He's going to be here. He's going to be here. He's going to be here. You talk to Aiden and you get that. This is what we think. And he's still in that process. This is what they do. We think they're going to do this. So it's just a little bit different. But you could see it in the way they handled their understanding of the defenses.
Toss it again. Zamir White behind Jakob Johnson, and Josie Jewell, like a cannon shot, came through.
That's a really nice job by the outlaw Josie Jewell.
Right now, a game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson in Los Angeles.
Thank you so much, Jason. Cowboys trying to lock down the NFC East in the 2 seed with a win. And on the Cowboys' first drive of the game, Dak Prescott finds Jalen Tolbert for the score. Dallas leads 7-0. Jason?
That Dallas team's scary, man.
Yeah, they both ways, right? Both they can pile a bunch on you, or they can just flop on you.
And they've done both in recent memory the past couple of weeks to set themselves up for a playoff run. Davante Adams in the slot. O'Connell looking that direction. And now he unloads incomplete. There you see a young quarterback going through the progressions. Adams, it looked like, was his target initially.
Yeah, they were playing the zone and they were just sitting there. So you can see from the end zone. It wasn't quite ready, right? He's seen the field, but nobody comes open. So you just throw it away, live for another down.
He had Singleton in the area in that zone along with Davante Adams. There they are, Surtain and Adams. One more catch for 100 for Davante Adams, who's up top with tight coverage as always at the line. O'Connell this way, and he's got it for Trey Tucker, the rookie out of Cincinnati, for a Raider first down.
I like Trey Tucker. I think Trey Tucker's got some wheels. He can move. This is out of the bunch set to the left, and they're just going to come up, and once you have the defensive back on the inside, it's just a break. His speed will get him open, and the ball just has to be there, and it is. Well protected, well thrown, and a first down.
You asked Davante Adams about Trey Tucker, and he said he's the best rookie he's ever had.
Yeah, he's in love with him.
Called him a pit bull. That was Tucker in motion. O'Connell this way once again. It is Tucker back to his feet, and he's sat down by Moreau.
It's a nice job of making that catch and coming back, and he kind of lost his footing and still was able to come up with that catch. You can watch Trey Tucker. He's kind of hiding behind the tackle. Come up and make this route. Just sitting in the zone. They're going to give that up underneath. See how he had to come back. Ball was down low. He loses his footing, but he does a nice job of securing the catch.
His first 2 touchdowns a couple of weeks ago against the Chargers, Tucker did.
Hey, 49, Monday.
High red zone here, Zamir White. And that'll move the sticks for the Raiders.
We had a good sound right there. You hear him talking. He pointed out the linebacker first, and that's to set the front. And then Monday, you heard him saying Monday, that's going to be on 1. And so said Hutton, they're off the races. A smart defender will always be listening while they're playing as well as watching everybody around them. And after about the first quarter and a half, you should have their stuff down.
It took that long, Matt?
Well, you know, I was out there. I had to write notes.
White behind Myers, and he crashes in for a couple of yards. Alex Singleton with the stop. It's a gain of 3. Yeah, Josh Jacobs had that one-year deal coming into this year. Zamir White taking over the past couple of weeks, and you can see there is a burst to Zamir White.
No, he's got it, and he's got good hands out of the backfield, and he's not that guy.
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is a really good player, and he's tough too. But Zamir White brings us a little bit of a changeup. He's a little faster. He gets to the hole faster.
O'Connell rolling and throwing. Austin Hooper, the tight end, taken down by Simmons about a yard short of the line to gain. So 3rd and 1 coming up.
He's doing a nice job of keeping them off balance. They're moving the pocket a little bit. They're running the football effectively. This is exactly how they have to be able to be effective. Protecting the young quarterback. Not really taking a deep shot anywhere. Usually throwing under 10 yards most of the time.
It's the former Pro Bowler. You heard Monday again there from O'Connell. They'll hand it off, and this could be a throw. Jacoby Myers doubling back, sees the goal line and scores. His 3rd touchdown against the Broncos this year.
That was really well done in terms of running. Now he's gonna hand it to him, and he wants to throw into the end zone. It's not there. Well covered. Turns around. Now I love this cut right at the end. He gives the illusion he's going to try to get to the corner, and at that last little cut back inside, and that gets him in the end zone. Well done.
Well, you figure week 18, there aren't going to be a whole lot of play calling guardrails today.
It's what it always was, which is always a great rivalry. They've always had great offensive teams, or we always did against them, mostly because of John Elway, which was really a pleasure to play against. He was a great competitor.
Marvin Mims on the return. You enjoyed playing against Elway?
Yeah, I mean, he was the whole team. Let me tell you, that guy, he was an amazing player. He could beat you with his arm, he could beat you with his legs, he could beat you with his head. Those guys are rare.
You were one of those guys, right?
No, they call those guys Hall of Fame guys, yeah.
Well, I just meant you could beat people with, you know, all the different
yeah, like if I took my helmet off and smacked somebody, which I think has been done.
It's nice. 7-0 Raiders with the lead. An 8-minute drive for the Raiders. 8:03 off the clock. And so Jarrett Stidham got put in the cooler for a little bit, and he will toss for McLaughlin, who Sean Payton has really been impressed with this year as he dances out of bounds. It's a gain of 3. I mean, here's a guy who was getting to the facility at like 6 in the morning. Matt.
Yeah, he does all the little things right, but when you watch him play, he runs with great balance. He understands how to use his shoulders and take hits, and he's got some good speed. So I think they like what he brings to the table, and they're using it, and you should.
One of the breakout stars of this Denver season that they wish was not 8-8. They opened 1-5, got hot in the middle of the year as Stidham off play action sets and fires with confidence, and that's right on the money. First down and more for Brandon Johnson all the way across midfield to the 45.
Yeah, so you're going to notice this route, it's going to be a deep crossing route. So what that means is you have to have good protection because it takes a long time for this route to develop. And so they're sitting in the zone, and they're going to clear everything out on the front side, and then they bring him back underneath, and it gives you a lot of room to run. Johnson does a nice job of getting that ball.
That's a 36-yard hit to Johnson, who had a 50-yarder earlier this year. You can see the arm talent in Jarrett Stidham. When you watch
yeah,
the tape.
I mean, I think he went from steady to sparky in a week, but this is exactly what he needed.
Well, he wanted to set and throw, and he was under duress in a big way from the rookie Tyree Wilson.
That's nice job of Tyree Wilson of having a little bit of discipline in that scheme and not taking off. He stays to the outside and then gets upfield. They have high hopes for this guy. He's a long guy. He's got good strength. Just a rookie. He'll get there. They're trying to move him inside, which I like when he does that. Because he can use his length in there.
Antonio Pierce said of him, the arrow keeps going up. For Tyree Wilson, who got a clean shot on Stidham. We haven't seen Crosby visit him yet, his friend and former teammate. Could be delay a game. They'll say he got it off in time, and he throws it right over the middle. It's a broken tackle for Javonte Williams, and Marcus Epps took the brunt of it.
That's nice by Williams. Get his shoulder pads down, and then keep your balance. That's the key. So he's got to run through that tackle and does.